To truly understand how to overcome anxiety through Epictetus's philosophy, it's essential to recognize that his teachings provide not just a framework for dealing with stress, but a profound way of living that is designed to build resilience, tranquility, and inner peace. Anxiety often arises from the tension between the things we cannot control and our desire to change them. In his Stoic philosophy, Epictetus offers profound insight into how we can reshape our perceptions, control our reactions, and ultimately free ourselves from the cycle of anxiety that so many face. Through his teachings, we can learn to shift our focus from the uncontrollable to the controllable, allowing us to reclaim our peace of mind. The first and perhaps most important lesson that Epictetus teaches us is that we must learn to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. This simple yet profound idea is the bedrock of Stoic thought and one of the most powerful tools we have in overcoming anxiety. Epictetus encourages us to focus only on what we can change and to release attachment to the things that are beyond our control. This is the core practice of Stoicism, and it has direct application to managing anxiety. Anxiety typically arises when we place too much focus on external circumstances, the actions of others, events we cannot predict or influence, and the fear of outcomes that are far from certain. When we allow ourselves to dwell on these things, we invite unnecessary stress and uncertainty into our lives. Epictetus argues that what truly matters is not external events, but how we respond to them. While we cannot control the behavior of others or the outcome of our circumstances, we always have control over our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. Anxiety is exacerbated when we feel powerless to change external events. Yet the Stoic mindset teaches us that our power lies in how we perceive and react to those events. This is the first step toward overcoming anxiety, shifting our focus from external conditions to internal responses. By acknowledging that the only thing we can truly control is how we think and act, we liberate ourselves from the burden of trying to control things that are inherently uncontrollable. This shift in perspective lays the foundation for mental peace. One of the most essential aspects of this mental shift is the practice of living in the present moment. Anxiety often arises from either dwelling on past mistakes or fearing future events. The past is no longer in our hands, and the future is unknown. Yet, so much of our anxiety comes from ruminating over these two time periods. Epictetus teaches that true tranquility comes when we stop fixating on things we cannot change, either past mistakes or future uncertainties, and instead direct our energy toward what we can do right now. By focusing on the present, we let go of the mental clutter that causes anxiety. Epictetus emphasizes that the present moment is the only reality we have. The Stoic practice of mindfulness is central to overcoming anxiety, as it involves fully experiencing the present without judgment or worry about the past or future. When we truly embrace the present moment, we free ourselves from the anxiety of what may come or the guilt and regret of what has passed. Focusing on the now allows us to reclaim our inner peace, as we are no longer dragged down by regrets or fears that do not belong in the present. Another powerful tool in overcoming anxiety, according to Epictetus, is the cultivation of self-mastery. The Stoic idea of mastering oneself, one's emotions, thoughts, and reactions, is crucial in navigating life's challenges with tranquility. Anxiety often stems from our emotional reactions to situations we can't control. When we react impulsively or disproportionately to external events, we compound our anxiety. Epictetus teaches that we must train ourselves to respond thoughtfully, not impulsively, by recognizing that we have control over our own emotional responses. Anxiety often arises when we allow external circumstances to dictate our emotional state. Epictetus, however, suggests that we can choose our responses no matter what happens around us. We may not be able to control the actions of others or the events in our lives, but we always have the power to decide how we react. In this way, Epictetus empowers us to become the masters of our own emotional well-being. Through continuous practice, we can cultivate mental strength and emotional resilience, which are key to reducing anxiety. The more we train ourselves to respond thoughtfully with calmness and wisdom, the less likely we are to be swept away by anxiety in the face of external challenges. One of the most profound aspects of Epictetus's teachings is the ability to transform negative thoughts. Negative thinking is one of the primary drivers of anxiety. When we believe that something bad is going to happen, or that we are somehow inadequate or incapable, anxiety increases. Epictetus reminds us that not all thoughts are true. Just because we think something, it does not necessarily mean it is accurate or beneficial. Many of our anxieties are born from irrational or exaggerated thoughts. For example, when we fear failure, we often imagine the worst-case scenario, which may be far removed from reality. By learning to challenge and change these negative thought patterns, we can begin to reduce the intensity of our anxiety. Epictetus teaches us that by examining our thoughts critically, we can recognize when we are thinking irrationally or in a way that contributes to our stress. When we catch ourselves falling into patterns of catastrophic thinking, we can step back and remind ourselves that these thoughts are not necessarily grounded in reality. By developing the ability to reframe negative thoughts and replace them with more balanced, constructive perspectives, we can break the cycle of anxiety. This process takes practice, but it is an essential step in overcoming anxiety. Another important aspect of Epictetus's philosophy is limiting our desires. Anxiety often arises when we have an insatiable desire for more, whether it's more success, more approval, more possessions, or more control over our circumstances. When we are constantly reaching for more, we find ourselves in a perpetual state of dissatisfaction. Epictetus teaches that we should strive for contentment with what we have. The more we desire, the more anxious we become, because our happiness becomes dependent on things outside of ourselves. However, if we can learn to be content with less, if we can appreciate what we already have, then we free ourselves from the constant anxiety of striving for more. This practice of limiting our desires is a crucial step in managing anxiety. When we reduce our wants and focus on cultivating gratitude for what we already have, we begin to experience greater peace of mind. Epictetus suggests that true happiness does not come from external possessions or achievements, but from within. By detaching ourselves from the need for external validation or material success, we can learn to find contentment in the present moment. Lastly, Epictetus emphasizes the importance of mental exercises that help build resilience and fortitude in the face of adversity. Stoicism is not just a philosophy to think about, it is a practice that requires daily reflection and application. Epictetus suggests engaging in daily exercises such as journaling, self-reflection, and examining our responses to life's challenges. These practices help us to build a stronger, more resilient mindset over time. By reflecting on our thoughts and actions, we can identify patterns that lead to anxiety and work to change them. Through these mental exercises, we can develop the strength to face life's challenges without being overwhelmed by anxiety. By practicing mindfulness, reframing negative thoughts, limiting our desires, and cultivating self-mastery, we gradually transform our responses to external events. This transformation is essential for overcoming anxiety and finding lasting peace. In conclusion, Epictetus offers a timeless and deeply practical guide for overcoming anxiety. His teachings urge us to focus on what we can control, to cultivate a resilient and peaceful mind, and to transform negative thought patterns. By living in the present, mastering our emotions, limiting our desires, and engaging in regular mental exercises, we can gradually free ourselves from the grip of anxiety. Epictetus's philosophy, rooted in the Stoic tradition, offers a powerful and transformative path to inner peace, providing us with the tools to navigate life's challenges with strength, wisdom, and tranquility. If this video helped you, don't forget to like it. And if you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe. Let's keep building a calmer and stronger mind together.